Good morning from Jackson, Wyoming. What a beautiful day. A little chilly, like 7 degrees, but this is the hotel I'm staying at. The view from the room was this. That's the room. And that's the view. That's the Elk Refuge Inn right in front of me. Pretty amazing place. I'm going to head in that direction, which is towards Yellowstone, and head up north towards Helena, Montana. So it looks like there's some snow on that mountain over there. Let me zoom in. Oh yeah, there is snow on that mountain. Looks like it snowed. So might actually get some nice views today. It's a cooler day, so we shall see. Anyway, over and out. We'll post more. Just about to get going in the direction of Yellowstone. Final destination being, of course, Helena, Montana. That in front of me is Jackson, Wyoming, the city, but I'm not going there. I'm going to head back towards Yellowstone. Get the bang for buck because I spent $30 driving through there. So I want to make the most out of it. I left my hotel early morning on a wet and cold September day. The hotel was expensive but very comfortable with a great view. My plan for the day is to ride from Jackson, Wyoming to Helena, Montana to the Grand Teton and Yellowstone National Parks. So the first stage is to ride through the scenic Grand Teton Road with stunning views of the Teton Range and get up to the southern entrance of Yellowstone National Park. From there, I head north towards West Thumb in Yellowstone and then up to the Geyser Basin. I ride by the Grand Prismatic Spring and up towards Mammoth before heading down to the northern entrance of Yellowstone at Gardiner. I then ride into the chic Bozeman downtown area before heading straight to Helena, Montana, my final destination for the day. As I proceeded northward towards the Grand Teton Range, the mountains accompanied me for the initial segment of the journey. The lighting was exquisite, resembling the golden hour, and the distant mountains appeared awe-inspiring. I mean, just look at those mountains. Aren't they stunning? And the cloud cover just adds that little bit of mystery. So heading out of Jackson, you can either head up US Highway 191 straight to Yellowstone National Park's southern entrance, or you could just take the Grand Teton Scenic Drive by taking a left turn a little bit outside of Jackson. Thank you. Of course, if you have a pass over here, which you probably paid for the previous day, which is a 7-day pass, then you will be allowed to enter the park, of course, with no charge. Phew! Have a good day. So unfortunately for most of the day, the weather wasn't too great. It was overcast and rainy, but at this particular spot in Grand Teton, it was just overcast, of course, and the mountains were kind of shrouded in cloud cover. But every once in a while, you would see the mountain peaks peek through the gaps in the clouds, and that was like truly a stunning kind of a view. And even some of the mountains had some snow on them, which added that extra bit of mysticism or mystique. I thought I'd take this left turn over here and just see if I could get closer to the mountains. But of course, this is a private and residential area, so I had to kind of just stop and maybe just take a few pictures before heading off.
So beautiful.
As I head north, the elevation started to change, of course, as I climbed higher to get into Yellowstone National Park, and I left the beautiful Grand Teton range behind me in my rear view mirrors. So it started to rain by the time I got to the southern entrance of Yellowstone National Park. So the park wasn't very busy because I guess the weather wasn't too great. Once again, if you have a 7-day pass, which is the only pass you can purchase for Yellowstone National Park, just like the Grand Teton National Park, you can just show that pass if you purchased it the day before or earlier, and you can enter the park free of charge. I swear, this lady at the reception looked just like the lady at the reception of Grand Teton National Park. They're almost identical twins.
Yeah, that was the back there for the exhibit. Sweet. That looks good.
Oh.
Thank you.
Did it snow over here anywhere in the area overnight?
I'm not sure. It didn't snow anywhere down here. We didn't get like above 40, or meant below 40, but some of the higher peaks did be. But I don't think anywhere like on the road.
Because in Jackson, some of the peaks had snow on them.
Oh,
Back
really?
in Jackson, Grand Teton,
Yeah.
there was snow on some of the peaks. So it looks like it's done.
It's all
Okay.
happening.
Thank you.
The reason why I was asking the attendant at the kiosk if there was snow anywhere in Yellowstone, because firstly I was concerned about the weather and the roads being slushy or slippery. Luckily that wasn't the case. Secondly, I really wanted there to be some snow on the peaks, because when there's snow on mountains, it adds that additional kind of layer of beauty. So it was something I've always admired, seeing snow on the mountain tops, but unfortunately I didn't get much of that in this trip. despite being quite late in the season, plenty of roadworks and stoppages along the way. It wasn't so bad when I was headed south, but I got quite a few of them headed north. I continued to head north, riding in the rain, which was a little bit messy because I couldn't take any good pictures or videos, but still drove by West Thumb, the Yellowstone Lake, and then finally arrived at the Old Faithful kind of rest area. So just stopped here in Old Faithful. My socks got horribly wet in the rain despite having Gore-Tex shoes, but you know, so I just removed my socks, changed them, stained my socks, and now I'm gonna get back on my way. What an experience riding through the rain. It was 2 degrees centigrade the temperature, which is pretty insane, and I was afraid that I might slip or something, but luckily nothing happened. 2 degrees, raining, not perfect conditions on a motorcycle, but you know, not bad. It's a good ride. Knock on the wood. This is Old Faithful, by the way, all of that over there. The steam rising, it's Old Faithful. Got some Yellowstone wild huckleberry dark chocolate candy bar and some Starbucks. So Yellowstone is one crazy place. After every few minutes of riding, you come across these plumes of steam rising from the earth, and it's quite an amazing scenery. I've never seen it anywhere else in my life, anywhere else in the world as well. So it's very unique. So if you come here to Yellowstone, you will definitely come across a geyser. So by this point I was really freezing and the rain was like not my friend. So I was really, you know, in a frozen state. But I again love to see these amazing views. This is a Grand Prismatic spring. You can see it in the distance, and this is a stunning place. One of the most remarkable places I've ever seen in my life. Yet another random hot spring in Yellowstone National Park. You come across so many, it's just crazy. So as you ride by the Grand Prismatic Spring area, the area kind of opens up into these flat fields where you see again a lot of plumes of smoke rising out of the earth all around you. Of course, the grass is kind of like more golden color because of, I guess, the cold. Probably overnight the temperature dips to close to zero, therefore there's no more green grass. But plenty of riders along the way, plenty of motorists as well. Quite busy despite the weather. So what happened here was that I almost lost my USB charger that connects to the bike's DIN socket. It was hanging by the cable and it was the only one I had for the whole trip. Fortunately, I noticed and recovered it in time, saving my phone charging capability for the rest of the journey. So this area is just before the Madison information station and trailside area. There is of course a parking lot over here, and you can of course get information on camping and hiking in the area. There's a restroom over here as well, and there is a gift shop. Once you leave the Madison area, the valley kind of like narrows, and of course it becomes a lot more green as you start to ascend. So you leave the grassy plains behind you and you kind of get into the mountains where there's beautiful forests all around you. So I came across just more and more of these geysers just randomly by the roadside, and you look at you're just riding, and all of a sudden you just come across this plume of smoke and you can't help but stop. And when you look closely, just look at that blue color. It was just mind-blowing, just out of place. It doesn't look like it's in the right place, but yeah, it's there. Just look at the water, crazy, huh? I mean, you can literally hear it, it's like bubbling, you know. In case you're curious, geysers form when groundwater is heated by magma close to the Earth's surface, causing the water to reach superheated temperatures and eventually erupt due to sudden release of pressure within a confined underground plumbing system, typically consisting of cracks in volcanic rock, which creates the necessary conditions for water to be expelled as a geyser. Essentially, they require a heat source, which is basically magma, a water supply, and a specific geological structure to trap the pressurized water and facilitate eruption. Okay, so I was getting this rattling noise coming from the underside of my bike. I think it's probably a loose kind of heat shield somewhere on the bike, but I can't be sure. So this is the turning point for the Norris Canyon road. There's plenty of geysers in this area, including the Norris Porcelain Basin, the Ledge Geyser, the Norris Geyser, the Basin Museum, Steamboat Geyser, Norris Back Basin, Yellow Mud Pool, Black Hermit Cauldron, Medusa Spring. So plenty of geysers in the area. So this is the Roaring Mountain thermal area. Roaring Mountain is an acid sulfate thermal area filled with steam and gas vents. The acidic gases have altered the surrounding rock into clay minerals, giving the area its chalky appearance. Despite its small size, it emits over 100 megawatts of geothermal power, making it one of the park's most intense thermal areas. Just north of Roaring Mountain is Obsidian Cliff, a designated National Historic Landmark, and located in the Grand Loop between Mammoth and Norris Basin. Obsidian is found in volcanic areas where the magma is rich in silica and lava has cooled without forming crystals, creating a black glass that can be honed to an exceptionally thin edge. Obsidian was first quarried from this cliff for tool making more than 11,000 years ago. Removing any obsidian you may find at the site is strictly prohibited. That, my friends, is Bunsen Peak. Bunsen Peak is an 8,564 feet prominent peak due south of Mammoth Hot Springs in Yellowstone National Park. The peak lies on the east flank of the Kingman Pass on the Mammoth to Norris section of the Grand Loop Road. Bunsen Peak was named after the German chemist Robert Bunsen, the inventor of the Bunsen burner and responsible for early work on the volcanic geyser theories. Now I'm approaching the northern part of Yellowstone, which is kind of a steep descent down towards Gardiner, which is where the northern entrance of Yellowstone National Park is. This is a beautiful, beautiful ride all the way down the mountain. It's all downhill, and it would be really nice to do it on a bicycle, a road bike. But anyway, so when you start the descent, you're in green, lush forests, and then of course it starts to get more arid and dry as you go lower, as you descend more and more. It turns into a more drier landscape, so the green trees disappear, and then all of a sudden it opens up into a kind of like super dry, grassy mountains, and you can see the city of Gardiner in the distance. Yet again, even more hot springs. These are the Mammoth Hot Springs, which is one of the most unique geothermal features in Yellowstone National Park, renowned for its striking terraces. These terraces are formed by a combination of minerals that precipitate out of the hot water flowing from the springs. As the water cools and evaporates, it leaves behind deposits of calcium carbonate, which build over time to create the stunning layered formations. The Mammoth Hot Springs area is constantly changing as new terraces form and the old ones degrade, providing a dynamic landscape that fascinates geologists and visitors alike. The springs are also home to diverse microbial life that contributes to the vivid colors seen in the terraces, ranging from vibrant oranges and yellows to serene whites and grays. the crazy descent begins for Gardiner. We just keep going down and down and down. The trees make way for kind of like mountains which are completely arid and dry with absolutely very little vegetation on it. And of course the weather was luckily much better. There wasn't much rain over here. It was much drier, but it was quite windy. So again, not a pleasant ride. But again, hey, this is what adventure riding is all about. You just go out there and you soak in everything, including the good and the bad, and you become part of the elements. So this is, of course, the city of Gardiner, and this is the kind of checkpoint or the checkpost for the northern entrance of Yellowstone National Park. And of course, I'm exiting the park, so no need to check in or check out. Despite being cold, wet, and tired after a long day, I took solace in having successfully completed the challenging ride. Though slightly disheartened, I was grateful for the experience, recognizing it as a memorable adventure. I look forward to the opportunity to visit the park again in future. So Gardiner was established in 1880 and is steeped in history. During the summer months, it attracts visitors for river rafting, wildlife viewing, and exploring the Yellowstone National Park. In winter, the town offers snowshoeing, cross-country skiing, and trips to the nearby Mammoth Hot Springs. Gardiner's year-round appeal lies in its historic charm and proximity to natural beauty. So I continued my way, leaving Gardiner and heading up north on Highway 89. Highway 89 eventually, of course, falls into or connects with the Interstate 90, which eventually takes you through Helena. This is the town of Bozeman in Montana, a very chic place, plenty of nice restaurants and hotels as well. So it's a kind of a main stop before you get to the Yellowstone National Park if you're coming from the north. Again, there was rain spitting on me from all directions. The roads are wet as you can see, and I was also kind of like drenched. But luckily my rain suit saved the day. So I'm back on the I-90 headed towards Helena, Montana. A few words on my motorcycle. So it's been a great companion as well for the entire trip. Very reliable, a lot of fun to ride in the rain, in the shine, in the heat, in the cold. and absolutely wonderful, wonderful bike. If you like this video, please don't forget to hit like and subscribe, and keep a lookout for new videos as they drop. Thanks for watching.